promised a dinosaur. Who promises it to Phil? Who promises a dinosaur?
Dotson. We got Dotson here.
Nobody cares.
I know. Hello and welcome to the Nerd Card. I'm Phil.
I'm Chuck.
And we just watched Jurassic World Dominion.
We did.
Can you see how excited we are about it?
I mean, they didn't go faster. I was sad.
They didn't go faster. I'm not even wearing it. This isn't a Jurassic Park shirt.
Well, it's a hybrid.
It's a Moon Knight shirt. Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah,
worry about me.
we got grievances.
We
Chuck,
do. We have grievances.
Kick us off, man.
It's. I like a little more sci in my sci-fi movies, and this just you would think a movie about clone dinosaurs would have more sci.
You would think,
but it's as these movies have gone, they've gotten more and more and more and more ridiculous, right? Which we knew going in, which is why I'm not super disappointed. I mean, it wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be, but it was not as good as I expected it to be. Let me put it that way.
It's not. You know what? That might be the quote of the century right there.
Because it was.
But yeah.
I live my life one velociraptor at a time. I mean, that's kind of what it felt like.
It did. Well, it was a lot of action. So
tons of action. That was the fun part, right?
There was that. There were a lot of dinosaurs. That was the good stuff.
Yeah, that was the fun part. And you saw all your cast again, right? So from the new series and from the old series, you got all of them. And
that's cool. That's really cool.
All the main ones.
We even got Dotson.
Dotson,
not the original Dotson,
but a new Dotson.
But a new Dotson.
And that's good. And he had the Barbasol can too.
He did. Cool stuff. There was some cool stuff.
And there's spoilers, big spoilers. So if you haven't seen Dominion yet and you don't want it ruined, just go watch it first and then come back.
Yeah, well, rewind it. 10 seconds.
Well, there's not that much spoilers. You find that from searching the internet.
Not that much. But what really bothered me about it was, as you say, there's not a whole lot of sci in this sci-fi.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs are cold-blooded creatures, and
as far as I understood when I learned in school,
the majority,
unless that's changed,
right, and the majority of the movie takes place in snowy conditions.
Yeah, kind of odd.
And it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, there's a reason that the original Jurassic Park and Site B were in Costa Rica because it's close to the equator and it's warmer and it's warm year round.
Right, it's the correct. It's not even the correct habitat, but
it's not. It's closer to the kind of more volatile, volcanically active environment that would have been around in that period of the Earth's history.
Right.
Now, how would any of us know 65 million years ago? None of us were alive. So we don't know that for certain, but I suspect even though if you have any criticisms of the original Jurassic Park, one of them would the dinosaurs even be able to breathe the air that exists now as opposed to 65 million years ago? Would the concentration of the air even be the same?
And the answer is no. I mean, that's actually been scientifically proven. But it's even worse.
But you
in
take
this
that,
movie.
you can forgive that, right? For the fantasticism that is the first film, because Michael Crichton did when the book. If you haven't read the book Jurassic Park, it's tremendous. You should read it,
and it's way better than the movie. And the movie's great.
And I love the first movie. Yeah. And Crichton was meticulous with his research. I mean, he always took artistic license because that's what artists do. Yeah. But he was a meticulous researcher, and he always had. At most of his novels at the end had basically a syllabus of what he read to study.
Oh yeah, and it was
writing
extensive.
These novels, and they were scientific typically because he wrote about scientific topics.
Right.
So this movie was kind of very bereft of the science part of science fiction.
Yeah.
But as Phil said, you had a lot of dinosaurs, you had a lot of fun action, you had Owen being Owen. Although after a minute it gets old.
Yeah.
How many times can you do that to a dinosaur before one just comes and bites your hand off?
Seriously, so towards the end of the movie, Alan Grant does it too, and it feels like
after the little girl does it.
Yeah, come
on, man.
It feels like they're trying to use the Force. I swear to God, I was watching it and I went, "This isn't Star Wars, right?"
Yeah, it's just like, how many times can dude be like, "This is how you train dinosaurs." I'm a Navy SEAL. I mean, come on, man. You can only do that so many times.
Yeah, and you
you expired all of them in Jurassic World, for the record. And just doing it now is like, just find something else. And I mean, even Chris Pratt said, I kind of want him to have the dinosaur bite my hand off. And they didn't do that.
Because it would have made sense. He's doing it with dinosaurs he has no rapport with. None. Zero.
He knows it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was under contract to make this movie.
I'm certain of that. Absolutely.
It was good to see. Of course, you guys know I love Jeff Goldblum. It was good to see Malcolm back. It was good to see Grant back. It was good to see Sadler back.
They were the highlights of the movie, right? I mean, in my opinion, all three were highlights of the movie.
But the other problems, it had no plot. There's no plot. It's just callbacks and dinosaurs running around like Fast and the Furious movie. And it's really heavy-handed with its message. Super heavy-handed. A plague of locusts from the genetic engineering, especially at the end. Again, spoilers, a plague of locusts raining hellfire from the sky.
Yeah.
And the speech at the end of
a little on the nose.
We gotta be together. Yeah, we know that people need to work together, but you show me dinosaurs and horses running side by side. The big, just vicious dinosaur at the end of Jurassic World that ate the T-Rex is swimming with whales and going in line with it and saying it. Come on, man.
Right.
Come on.
Well, and you mentioned the T-Rex. I mean, it's been a trope in every single Jurassic Park or Jurassic World movie that the T-Rex comes in, saves the day, and fights the big dinosaur that he has no business fighting, and it's no different.
Well, they always one-up the T-Rex, right? And not always, but they have in several of the installments. Yeah. And the T-Rex always comes out on top.
Right.
Right? You guys know that the T-Rex is the main dinosaur bad guy, anti-bad guy of these films. There's a thing. I'm making it a thing now.
Well, and he wasn't really around for the majority of the film, but at the end, of course, we know what's going to happen. Yeah, the T-Rex.
There's a cool part. They made the logo in the waterfall ring. I mean, that was fun.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's. Do we need that?
No. You didn't need the last 30 minutes of the film.
No, it's 30 minutes too long. And you know what else I was missing in this movie was the music of John Williams.
Yeah.
Because he created that beautiful theme for Jurassic Park, the very first movie, and they've kind of tapered off. Like, I watched Fallen Kingdom for the first time in preparation for watching Dominion.
I didn't need to. That movie's poo.
And I text Chuck while I was watching it. It's like, oh my God, this movie sucks. But they didn't even use the theme until the last 30 seconds of the movie. And they barely used it in Dominion too. Yeah. But that's what transported me to that world. I mean, when I was watching Jurassic Park, when it first came out, that soundtrack moved me. I felt that.
But the first movie is in a class of its own.
It really is. Yeah.
If you're going to rank these movies, I mean, the first Jurassic Park is way up here. Then I would put Jurassic World next, and then I would put The Lost World after that, and then there's a great distance, and then there's these last two.
Yeah.
For me.
Well,
I'm sorry, the last
three.
I'm sorry, Jurassic Park 3. This movie, and then the other one is Dominion. It's on the floor down there. That one's
you not can't
Dominion.
See that.
Fallen Kingdom. That one is terrible.
Chuck told me not to watch it, but I did anyway, and it happened.
But he did. That's okay. So at the end of the day, if you're like us and you like to see Dino Carnage, go see the movie.
Yeah.
Just don't have expectation for it to be. You ain't winning any awards.
Right, but it's got fun stuff in it.
There is fun stuff.
There's good action.
I know we're kind of pounding on it a little bit, but
for sure,
it does have good elements. I'm glad I saw it in a theater. It's just I was hoping to have my expectations not met but exceeded, and they weren't. They were exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Well, and for example, when we went and watched The Matrix Resurrections, we had very, very low expectations.
I expected that to be bad.
And it was better than what we thought.
Yeah.
With this one, we went in with slightly higher expectations.
Yeah, and it was, to me, it was exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
like I said earlier.
Well, I was disappointed. I expected them to bounce back from Fallen Kingdom them, and it just didn't happen, in my opinion.
He made a promise to a dinosaur.
He made a promise, and
You
Jeff
have
Goldblum calls it out.
He does. And I mean, one of the main plot points of the movie is he made a promise to a dinosaur.
To a dinosaur.
Okay, so I think that's it.
I think that's it too.
Yeah.
With that, I will remind you to check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, Spotify, all that good stuff. We are out there. Let us know what you think of Jurassic World Dominion in the comments below, and give us a like if you liked it. If
Likes
you don't,
are free.
No worries. Click on another video. It's all good. With that, we will say,
what's on your nerd card?